Blue cheese, which I admit to you is the weirdest name for a cigar in the world. It is a wholly unappetizing name, but this is what Privada Cigar Club and their LCA, their Limited Cigar Association, this is what they named it with the $100 bill label right there. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz, and that is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. Find everything we do at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. That is the name of this cigar. This cigar is the blue cheese. It is a 6x52, which means it's 6 inches long. Always makes Fingers Malloy laugh. And 52, that is the ring gauge, the diameter of the cigar, or how thick it is around. Again, with the laughter. A 64 ring gauge would be a full 1 inch around. This is really the height of the size that I like for a ring gauge. And I'll tell you what, Fingers, feels sturdy, feels fine. I could almost use a little more weight to it, but good in the hand, exactly what I would expect from a Toro.
Yeah, absolutely. I find that the hand feel is darn near perfect. I do like the band. It is very unique. I wasn't expecting you to hand me a cigar today that had a band that looks like a $100 bill.
Right, but it's miniature. Like if you were a very, very tiny person, this would be just right.
I can't use this in the casino?
Can't use this in the casino nor the gas station.
Drat.
You could try it on your kids and see what happens.
Well, I don't usually recommend handing my children
not the cigar, just the label.
Listen,
they'll think it's money and they'll do chores, and then you can sit easy while you smoke that cigar. You'll be like, sucker.
Sucker?
Yeah.
There it is. Okay.
So this is done by AJ Fernandez. And I like what AJ Fernandez does. So they're the ones who are wrapping this one in this 6x52. This is, if I've got it right, because I've seen it written a couple of ways now. This is a Habano wrapper, Nicaraguan in the binder and the filler. Now, it might be different depending on the Vitola. It doesn't really make sense to me, but this is the way I've got it, and this is what I'm going with. And I'm telling you, there's a little bit of spice that comes off the cigars. We've just lit this up. There is I don't know what that is. That's nutty. There's a wood. There's this is going to sound so dumb. There's a smokiness. I can't say I've ever described a cigar like that, but that's where I get from this right off the bat.
For me, Thousand Island.
It's because it's named Blue Cheese, everybody.
See what I did there?
Blue Cheese, so he said Thousand Island.
No, I was going to say there's a nice bit of spice on it, and then also I get the nuttiness as well.
But is it a heat? Is it a heat spice? Right? It is completely through the throat.
Yeah.
Which is kind of not in the cheek, not in the tongue, totally through the throat. So that's why I said smoky.
Okay.
But, I mean, if you disagree, you could say so.
Well,
You'd be wrong, but you could say so.
I know. The thing for me is that spice, it really, really lingers on the roof of your mouth and does not go away. It is staying with me. Whether it's... I see what you're saying where it goes in the throat. I don't know if I would call it smokiness. Maybe Russian.
Nice. Russian is Thousand Island, by the way.
Is it really?
Yeah, there's slight variations.
Huh.
Slight variations. From the people at LCA, Privada Cigar Club, made by AJ Fernandez. This is the blue cheese. There's a lot to say. The AJ Fernandez blue cheese. But we can agree. This is an absolutely horrific name.
Wow.
For it's a terrible name for a cigar. What did I say? What did I say that was so shocking? It's just not a good name for a cigar.
I think what you said that was most shocking is Russian dressing and Thousand Island dressing are the same thing, because according to artificial intelligence, Tony, Russian dressing is spicier and more complex due to ingredients like horseradish.
There's no horseradish. It's a lie. It's a lie.
You know what
it's a lie.
You know how we love to do lists on this show.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, maybe we should review everything that we have smoked over these past 6 years and come up with the top 3 dumbest cigar names.
I love it. The answer is yes. Let's get back to the blue cheese by AJ Fernandez. This 6 by 52. You want to break this up into thirds? Grab your notebook. What did you eat today? What did you drink today? Should I ask what you ate today, Fingers Malloy?
Well, I mean, it didn't have Russian dressing on it, but if you really want to know.
Did it have any level of special sauce?
No, but it did have an apple turnover chaser.
Of course it did. And I hope you left room because I made tomahawks.
I really, we need to start discussing what we're doing on the show before I get here.
I did make tomahawks. What did you eat today? What did you drink today? All affects your palate. Then take your notebook, take the cigar, and break it up into thirds. First third, second third, final third. What are the flavors that you're getting out of each third? Then when you try that cigar, a month from now, 6 months from now, for whatever it is, you do it again, you check your notes, you'll be able to get your through line, an idea of what your flavors are, what you were really getting out of that. What's interesting here is that Habano wrapper is Habano spice, right? Constantly what we get from that. It isn't the thing. The question before us is, do you get any level of blue cheese? I'm saying smoky. Someone else could say tangy, but I still don't think it has that blue cheese zip. That's not the flavor here, as far as I'm concerned. You might disagree.
No, I don't disagree with you. The Habano wrapper, it's what you expect for me, except, minus that smokiness you're talking about. You get a nice bit of spice. But then also that nutty and wood that you were talking about is there as well. I'm just going to be curious as we move into more of the first third of the cigar, what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Because as we're smoking, there's a little bit of that black pepper that's picking up on the other end, on really the back of the tongue is where that's picking up. This is the blue cheese. AJ Fernandez, this is the Toro. Fingers Malloy, is this in your humidor for $11 a stick?
I don't know, but I mean, so far, the answer would be yes.
Yeah, I am unsure as well. I can appreciate that there's something odder going on here. And I want to be clear, this is not a flavored stick.
No.
That is not what's happening here. This is not flavored at all. There is a flavor coming out of it. And I don't know if this is something I can do on the regular. I actually think this is going to screw with the tomahawk.
That's interesting.
Tomahawk.
How did you season the tomahawk?
Well, I seasoned it with love.
Oh, there it is.
Honestly, salt and pepper. Kosher salt, coarse black pepper.
Oh.
That's what I went with.
Well, if you would have gone with Thousand Island dressing, AI argues that it is sweeter than Russian dressing. It's creamier and often contains pickle relish. Yeah.
You found one thing with AI, and look at you. You're like, I'm part of the new age, kids.
The whole world of artificial intelligence is right in front of me in this 13-inch laptop.
You haven't gotten out much this week, have you?
No, I have not.
The blue cheese from AJ Fernandez, $11 a stick. If you tried it, let us know what you think of it. And did you check out the posts over at Instagram, Eat, Drink, Smoke Podcast? Because we left something for you if you've been listening to the podcast. Keep it here. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. So another day and another bit of news about this bourbon economy that just isn't going well. And it's not that bourbon's going away. Can't say that enough. Bourbon is not going away, Fingers Malloy.
Thank God.
But it is obvious that things for some people are going to be rough, and they're going to be rough for a few years. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz. That is Fingers Malloy. Find it all at eatdrinksmokeshow.com. Follow us on Twitter, X at Go Eat, Drink, Smoke, and Instagram, Eat, Drink, Smoke Podcast. Constellation Brands, which owns Corona and Modelo. Modelo's been doing solid. It took over for Bud Light as the number one beer in America after Bud Light had its marketing fiasco. They do High West bourbon, and they do the Prisoner wine, which has been pretty popular over the last few years. They took to the market, to the stock market, and they said, yeah, things are not good. We're downgrading. And I believe the quote, I have it here from the Lexington Herald Leader, macroeconomic headwinds affecting consumer demand. We go now to our economic correspondent, Fingers Malloy, for more. Fingers, when they say macroeconomic headwinds affecting consumer demand, what does that really mean?
It means everything's getting more expensive and people are struggling to buy stuff.
Thank you, Fingers. We appreciate that hard. God, if I didn't laugh, I should really show up to rehearsal. That's really it. People are struggling. They don't have the money for this. And this is where it gets super, super insane. So everybody knows we do radio in addition to this, right? I do a morning show in Indianapolis. I have a nationally syndicated midday talk show. Fingers Malloy does a talk show out of Michigan. On the show this week, I had Charles Payne from Fox Business. And I grab him once a month, maybe a little bit more, and kind of dig into some of these things. And I asked, if we take a look at GDP, gross domestic product, 3.3%, that is a country on fire in terms of production. But manufacturing is down, which makes no sense. And we've got the tariffs, yet somehow retail spending is also up. And real wages are up 0.7% this past month, and it's approximately 5% for the year. These two things don't align. The costs are going up. The manufacturing's going down. The tariffs makes things more expensive. We've got a bigger GDP than before, and we've got better wages than before. And I said, what is your take on this economy? He goes, what actually is the economy? It's good for some and it's bad for others. He actually had a very kind of, for him, a dour almost outlook in that if you're already swimming in cash, dude, there's cash to swim in. If you're not, the moments aren't there right now in the market and other places. These little things being more expensive, and we're talking about bourbon. What about just insurances? You moved, you're dealing with this insanity. Holy crap, this ain't great at all.
I think people were hoping that eventually you would actually see prices go down and we'd have a deflationary cycle with some of the stuff.
A slowing of inflation. I don't want deflationary. That creates a whole nother set of issues. But I know what you meant.
You know, when you're talking about insurance rates that have gone through the roof, if you talk housing that's gone through the roof, if people would like to see not only those prices slow the growth, actually come down. So that's what I mean by deflationary and some of the sectors that, you know, we talk about, whether it's housing, whether it's insurance, but it's clear that that's not going to happen anytime soon. I just moved 6 miles away from my previous home and was told that my insurance was going to go up $200 a month. A month. Insane. Absolutely insane. You would think that I moved across the country, different state. It's going to be the same. If something happens to my car, it's going to be the same mechanics. It's going to be the same body shops. And yet, well, it's a different area. It's so, needless to say, I've gone insurance shopping. It's all crazy. So if you were struggling to begin with, and then groceries continue to go up, and now you're looking at bourbon prices, you know, can continue to go up. But the thing also you need to keep in mind, and we've talked about this previously, younger people aren't drinking.
They're absolutely not.
Like they used to.
So they were expecting over their Constellation Brands sales to be down 2%. They've been down 6%. And they expect, and they still keep this, beer is flat, wine and spirits overall down 20%. 20%.
It's crazy.
You're going to be laying people off. You want to talk about a weird thing about layoffs? I don't know if you caught the story about Salesforce. No one's talking about it. It's layoffs, but they're not calling it layoffs. They're referring to it as some kind of AI kind of joy. And I should be full disclosure. I'm not angry with Salesforce. I probably have a fund somewhere I'm invested in that has Salesforce. I'm not doing an ad for Salesforce. I just really do like full disclosure. They have said because of AI, they have laid off 4,000 support roles. 4,000 people don't have their jobs because of AI.
Yeah.
Now, I don't care who you are, and I don't care where you're from. That's a layoff. Salesforce laid off 4,000 people, but they don't call it that. It hasn't been discussed as that. No, AI has enabled us, love the terminology there, to lay off 4,000 people. 4,000. Now, I'm not an anti-AI guy. And I am okay with innovation. And it is very, very clear that some people are going to have to find other work. And it's very clear that learn to code isn't going to work now for the next future because AI is going to do a lot of that coding. But it's a great example of they didn't move to AI because it was there. They moved to AI because how can we lessen our overhead? Ooh, here's 4,000 people we don't need anymore because we've got Ziggy the supercomputer. That's a Quantum Leap reference. Ziggy the supercomputer in order to get these things done.
Ziggy doesn't go on family and medical leave. Ziggy doesn't call in sick. Ziggy doesn't come in late. Ziggy doesn't demand to work from home. We're going to see this
It's
trend.
like Ziggy's perfect. Daddy loves Ziggy.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a really crazy time for the next 10, 15 years to see how the economy transforms into this AI, and then on top of it, as robotics get more and more sophisticated in manufacturing, build new plants, things like that, how much of it is going to be manned by robots as opposed to human beings. It's going to be fascinating to watch, and I worry for younger people.
Why?
Well, certain fields, if you are into computer programming, if you are in, you got an art degree, I worry if what your job prospects are going to be like 5-10 years from now. And of course, everybody thinks at the time that something's going to take over, but the economy, it changes and morphs with the times. And there are things that we probably don't even think are possible now that will crop up 5-10 years from now, and people will adapt.
And people will adapt. And they always do. And they always have to. Now, having to go through the adoption period, that's not easy for some people. But on the other side, people are like, oh, this is the way it is now. And you've recreated it. And yes, the whole expression of adapt or die, that's very, very real. We've got much more to get to, including we have a tomahawk to eat.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm going to go get that right now.
That sounds wonderful.
Yes. This is Eat, Drink, Smoke. The tomahawk steak.
Oh.
Love it. Don't always make it. Because if I'm making a ribeye, I make a ribeye. And this is a tomahawk ribeye. And basically, it's just fun with a bone. Thank you. Eat, Drink, Smoke. It is your cigar bourbon extravaganza. I'm Tony Katz. That right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. And today it's a foodie extravaganza. Got these tomahawks. Wanted to bring these to you right here. The tomahawk ribeye is basically, it's not how you see it. It's just the ribeye there that features the bone, right? It features the very long rib bone. Looks like an axe. It's a ribeye. But usually a very, very thick cut ribeye, Fingers Malloy. So in this, we didn't go reverse sear, which is something you could do with this. And I'd love to see you play with that as you do this. I did this with a grill and with an oven. When people are grilling, they forget their purpose. And so as we're writing the new book, I've said too much, out hopefully, if we know what we're doing this Christmas. Do we know what we're doing?
We're writing a book?
Yeah. The grill can cook it all the way through. And you can do a tomahawk on the grill all the way through, no question. But the grill is to get a specific flavor and for a specific purpose. That sear that you can get from a grill to lock a little bit in, but to create a little bit of that crust, that's everything. Finish in the oven. And that's exactly the way we did this. We had this, I had the grill at over 700 degrees. A Weber Genesis, propane. It did the job. They're not a sponsor, by the way. They should be, but they're not. And I did 4 minutes aside, Fingers Malloy.
Nice.
This is just simple kosher salt that I got on sale. And this is coarse black pepper. I like it better than fine. I've started using it. I get it at Costco. And what I have found is that just for these kinds of things, for my brisket, which I did one over the weekend, which is a whole burnt end story, which I will get to. It is, to me, it's a much better flavor. There's something really more popping about that.
Okay. This is my first tomahawk.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Well, take a plate. I'll
yes,
keep talking
sir.
about preparation.
Okay.
And I've got it cut, so when you cut it, you'll see you've got like what looks like a center of the tomahawk there, and then you've got what's around it. So there's the cap, and then there's the eye. And honestly, whatever you give me is fine. And you cut it off the bone, then you cut the cap, and you slice the eye, and then you slice the cap separately. I believe, is it Tyler Florence? Is that the name of the chef? That's the way he does it. And I thought that seems pretty dang accurate to me. So I sear this on each side 4 minutes. Then from there, it went into the oven at 375 to cook. I'm looking for medium rare medium, and I'm not interested in anything higher than that. I originally thought 10 minutes. 10 minutes was not enough. This was 16 minutes. Now, some people recommend 30 minutes. I'm sorry, I think you'd end up with a well-done steak and you ruin it. I did 16 minutes in the oven at 375, preheated. Not getting up to 375, preheated to 375. Then I let it rest for 10 minutes. Fingers, people are impatient. They want to eat.
Yes.
I get it. We cannot say it enough. It is impossible. Let it rest, boo-boo. Let it rest. Thank you.
Can you, I mean, the amount of times I have smoked a brisket and people want me to hack into it right away. As soon as you pull it off the smoker, it's like you're asking for a disaster.
It can't. It's not that it can't work. It's that it won't work right.
No,
it won't work right. When you think of a brisket is like 73% water. You can start eating, man. You start eating. Don't worry about. I'll talk.
Look at the amount of fat on this. Oh,
I know, isn't that beautiful? It is a ribeye.
Yes, beautiful.
And it rendered pretty well. He's going in. He's so happy. A brisket's like 73% water. And so even when you're cooking it, you still have a tremendous amount of water in there. This is a muscle. It's been working. That's why you need low and slow and everything else.
Well, with the brisket too, chances are you waited 16 hours or more to smoke this with prep and everything. What's another hour and a half to 2 hours of letting it rest? And this is amazing. That bite I had had a perfect amount of fat on it.
Right.
That crust is perfect. The
crust is great.
Which
is why the sear matters so much. As high as you can get your grill. But I'm telling you, if you can't get over 500, and people can disagree with me, if you cannot get over 500, you're not going to sear right. That's my take. Now, some people might say, Tony, you really need to be over at 700 or higher in order to do this. Do you need a sear function on your grill? Not necessarily. You just need a grill that can handle the higher temperatures. That's it.
That coarse salt mixed with that coarse black pepper, it really makes a difference. You hit a home run here.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Now, some people might say you need fresh cracked pepper. I'm not going to tell you no. You do it the way you want to do it. But this is the way I did this one. The presentation. Do you have to burp? Do you need a moment? Are you going to be all right? Is it because you're chewing and being on radio?
That's exactly it. These mics pick up from time to time when I take a little sip of coffee. I can only imagine when I'm knee deep in a tomahawk steak, what's coming across the airwaves right now. It's wonderful. You absolutely hit a home run. And a lot of people, like you said, are apprehensive about finishing off in the oven. They want to do everything on the grill.
So that's the part 2 of this. You have it. It's your friend. You're able to get heat to get the proper temp without losing the rest and without worrying about it on the grill and something burning and overcharring and everything else. If you feel your oven runs hot, if you're unsure, tent the steak. I'm not talking about a hard wrap with foil. A little peak to it. Loosely wrapped.
Not a Texas crutch.
No, not a Texas crutch, which is when you wrap your brisket in tinfoil instead of butcher paper to try and get past the stall. But you can do that. I love this. And the thing about tomahawk, if you want to do tomahawk, this is solely a presentation story. It really is. But if I'm serving it sliced. Right? I'm cutting it off the bone, then I'm cutting that cap off. It's really easy to see with the eye. Then I'm cutting the eye of the ribeye. And then I'm serving it all in the sliced way with the bone on there. If you're serving it with the bone, people have got to have a lot of room and some really big plates.
So the question, though, is if you have a tomahawk just for yourself, you're not serving it to a group. It's like, this tomahawk is mine. There are 3 ways to eat it.
Yeah.
1, you cut it off the bone immediately.
Right.
2, you cut it off the bone and then you slice it into slices like you said. Or 3, you just pick up the tomahawk in your left hand and just bite right in.
Yeah, everybody will do that once. Everybody, it's like popping the bubble wrap. It's going to happen. Everybody has to do that once. If you're in Philadelphia, you're going to run up the Rocky Steps. Well, not you, Fingers,
No.
but other people. They're going to run up the Rocky Steps. Yes, you're going to do that. You're going to take that photo. You're going to have that thing. Do I have steak in my teeth?
No, you don't. But I like how you just glossed over as if you would be running up the Rocky Steps.
Oh God, no! I thought that was implied.
Okay.
That I would not be running up said Rocky Steps. But that's a tomahawk right there. And this is a great example of how to use your grill and your oven. And do not think that it's wrong. It's not wrong. Also, I said 16 minutes. Go 12. See what happens. You want a little bit more? Go 20. See what happens. Also, know your oven. I have it set at 375. You might want it set at a lower temperature because you feel more comfortable with how that's going to judge, or how to judge where that's going to be after a certain amount of time.
You kept it at that temperature the whole time. You didn't shut the oven off and leave it in there.
375 the whole time. I could have, right? I do that shut off thing if I'm doing, let's say, a roast in the oven. I'm going to let it cook for hours.
Yeah,
that'll happen. But now I left it at the 375 because this is in some places 4 inches thick.
Yes,
you got to get to the middle of it, and this thing is a perfect medium all the way around. I mean, perfect. Now, ribeyes, I do medium. Strips, I do medium rare. I want a little more of that fat to melt because you've got a ribeye, so that's what I do.
No, I think you should be very happy with what you accomplished here today.
We should eat more of this.
Probably.
Keep it here. This is Tomahawk Drink Smoke. Okay, I want more ribeye. I don't think there's any question that should happen in my life.
Well, get yourself another ribeye.
I will, but we have to do news of the week.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
We're doing that?
It turns out. Tea, Drink, Smoke. I'm Tony Katz, and that right there is America's favorite amateur drinker, Fingers Malloy. This is the blue cheese. It is made by AJ Fernandez for Privada Cigar Club, their limited series right here. It's smoky. Now, some people are going to say, well, it's named blue cheese because it tastes like blue cheese, which I'm telling you is a terrible name for a cigar. That said, it is smoky. This is the Habano wrapper, Nicaraguan, and the binder and the filler, which is weird because I've seen it described with a Brazilian Matafina in a different size, in a different vitola, in the what I think is the Robusto. This is a Toro, 6x52. I can't imagine that it's a different blend, but everything's possible. And it is definitely a smokiness in the throat. There's a little bit of black pepper spice that built on the back of the tongue. There's definitely some wood. Where are you at with this?
That spice has definitely dissipated for me, whether I'm getting used to it. I don't think I am, though. I think it has actually subsided a little bit. More of that wood and nutty notes for me.
Right.
The burn has been very even. It has been low maintenance. The hand feel is there, like you mentioned previously. So far, really good smoking experience.
Yeah, AJ Fernandez, the construction on this is right on. Very, very good. What weird, I didn't do a shallow of a cut. My cut is way deeper than I normally go. When the cigar on the cap, that's where you cut from, starts rounding, that's where I cut from. And I went a little bit lower than this on this one. I didn't mean to, but it's smoking great. That's me.
Yeah. So what about is the draw a little bit too easy? Is it almost distracting because you cut it?
Still a touch tight, and maybe that's why it's working, because I opened it up a little bit more with a bit of a deeper cut. And so I have nothing to complain about.
Well, if it's a little tight, have you done the old pinch and roll?
I haven't had to, right? It's not plugged up. It's not blocked. It's just a little bit tighter than I would have normally gone with, but not enough to affect me. I'm willing to work for my love.
I hear you. I like to, when it's a little too tight, what I like to do is do the old pinch and roll. And if that doesn't work, I just look at it and say, loosen up, baby.
Pinch and roll. Your thumb, your forefinger, you roll the cigar back and forth. You don't want to crack the wrapper, but you do want to move the leaves. You want to get things going a little bit, get a little squeeze in there. Some cracks are good. Open things up, get some better airflow, better combustion. Then next thing you know, you're smoking a cigar. It's time, Fingers Horatio Malloy, for News of the Week.
So there has been quite a bit of upheaval with Saturday Night Live and their new cast, Tony.
Right.
They've let some people go, and they've added some people. And, we don't usually talk about what goes on at Saturday Night Live.
No.
But what I found interesting is they've added 5 new cast members, 3 of which it seems like a lot of their work and what they're known for is TikTok.
Very weird. Yeah, I saw that too. That they've made their bones in shorts and other things, and I saw them like, yeah, I have no idea who these people are. There are people out there who are famous, and you have no idea who they are at all. What I find fascinating is they made their bones on social media. They made their bones on TikTok. That's where they're famous. That's where their money is. But they get to be on TV. That's a very, it's like saying I'm a blogger, but I just got printed by the Wall Street Journal. Yeah, there's still something to it.
That, and also just think, if you get on TV, it can really expose you to that world to increase your TikTok followers.
Yes, because everybody's watching on TV isn't super old, and they're all going to be on the TikTok.
Oh, they're going to, first of all, Google the person, and then after that, they're going to Google what is TikTok.
They're going to Google?
Yes.
Are they going to ask Jeeves?
Thank you.
That's your line.
Yeah, but the reason why I brought this up is because we've had this discussion before about how, especially during the pandemic, where a lot of people who consider themselves stand-up comics weren't really touring and doing stand-up. They were, doing videos on YouTube and things like that, building their audience, to where old school, grizzled, professional comedians were saying, well, geez, these guys, these ladies, they didn't come up through the ranks like we did.
Right.
They don't know what it's like, man. And their style is different, maybe because they did not become famous, by the daily grind of going to Yuck Yucks in Omaha and, doing the whole tours and going from open to middle to finally a headliner.
Is it your take that the comics aren't as good as they used to be? Or that is comedy somehow less than it used to be?
It's just different. I think there's something to be said for not being able to develop that muscle over a period of months and years of going on the road and dealing with crowds, when you're already walking in with some sort of credibility that was built outside of a comedy club. Mm-hmm. I think that definitely influences how you get your chops. Yeah. And so some would say it's not as good. I don't know if that's fair.
I am convinced. Remember, I do radio. The audience is there. I never see them. I never hear them. If I'm getting heckled, it's via social media.
Yes.
Stand-up is a very, very, very different beast altogether. It's a different beast than, let's say, being an entertainer. I would argue, I don't think I could ever be a stand-up, although I'm willing to try it. I know that I'm an entertainer. I've done it. You've seen me sell at the rooms. I can put this together. I will leave you with a night where you say, damn, that was fun. Stand-up is different. It's respect. And I don't, who am I to say, except I'm a consumer in that regard. I don't think anything could possibly replace what time on the road and those crowds and playing for 4 people at the Chuckle Hut could ever possibly do. And 2 of them walk out.
The last time I did stand-up, I was in front of 4 people.
Yes.
At a comedy club. And I remember specifically I had a bit on country music. And I was getting into the bit, and I looked down, and there are 4 people. They moved up to the front. This was during the comedy boom, which was actually turning into a bust in the 90s, where towns had have 2 or 3 comedy clubs that had no business having maybe even one comedy club. So there's 4 people in the audience, and I'm looking down doing this country music bit, and the guy sitting there with cowboy boots and a cowboy hat. And I could actually, at that point, feel the sweat coming out of my forehead. And that was the last time I went on stage. I thought to myself, I can't do this to myself. And now I regret it. I should have muscled through.
So do it now.
Oh, nobody wants to see a breaking in 38-year-old
That's all
comic.
38-year-old. I caught that. That's all they want to see. They don't care. There are no rules. There's no age issue. What's wrong with you?
I get up on. What's the deal with airplane food?
Dude, will you pick the night, we'll put you on stage.
That's not going to happen.
Oh, why not? We'll
No.
put together a whole comedy thing.
A comedy showcase?
And closer, Fingers Malloy.
Oh, boy. No.
Why not?
Do you
What's your best 2 minutes? That's
so
what she
many.
said.
Yeah. I always have to remind myself that we have to stay FCC compliant. But the amount of work and time that goes into coming up with 30 minutes of material, it takes at least 30 minutes.
You know what? Maybe best you don't do stand-up comedy. The best is when you hear like Jerry Seinfeld or Chris Rock talk about. And Jerry Seinfeld tells us. I think it's Jerry Seinfeld that tells the story about Chris Rock. He worked on a joke for 10 years.
Yeah, I can see that.
Absolutely. The timing, the wording, the presentation, the preparation, the syntax, the tone, all of it.
And you have to, when you're doing it, and one of the reasons why I think you have to get on the road is you have no idea how a crowd's going to react to a joke. You may think that you've got some strong punchline and they don't laugh at that. And then you have another bit that you're kind of like, it's iffy, and it kills. You're only going to get that feedback on your material if you go out on the road.
It's practice, baby. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice.
I've heard that.
Yeah, it happens to be true.
Is that in Jersey?
Yes. It's right next to Shecky's Chuckle Hut.
Great place.
This is Eat, Drink, Smoke.
Follow Eat, Drink, Smoke on social media, on Twitter @GoEatDrinkSmoke, on Facebook, facebook.com/Eat, Drink, Smoke, and Instagram @EatDrinkSmokePodcast. Hey, you made it all the way through to the end of this video. We're proud of you.
You should watch more of our videos. Make sure you subscribe right there to Eat, Drink, Smoke, wherever it is you get your videos, on YouTube, on Rumble, and don't forget Instagram, Eat, Drink, Smoke Podcast, where we've got the shorts and some very cool things going on.